Mortal Kombat was awesome. Oh my gosh. First of all, I'd like to say, as of the day of this recording, happy Mother's Day. Either the next day or the day after will be when this video releases. So it'll either be the day of or after Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all you mothers and soon-to-be mothers and grandmothers. Just want to take the time to thank you and give some appreciation to your contributions. And but anyway, back to the story. Yes, Mortal Kombat 2 was awesome. I genuinely thought it was fantastic. Carl Urban coming in as Johnny Cage was just so cool. And, after the first film with the whole Cole Young being the center of attention, the main character, as you would say, the audience surrogate, I mean, it kind of is what I'm getting the feeling of Resident Evil right now. The new Resident Evil trailer released with, this random character in this random side outskirt area of Raccoon City. And it's like, that's not what we want, right? Us, the fans of these video games that are being adapted into movies, they should be for the fans of the games, right? Not for people that are just fans of a genre or fans of just fighting in martial arts or shooting zombies, right? They should be made and geared towards the fans that actually know what this source material is from. And I have to say, Mortal Kombat 2 completely delivered on that aspect, considering what the first film did and put audiences through, right? No one cared about Cole Young. It was awesome seeing Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight. It was awesome seeing Jax get his arms. It was awesome just being in the world of Mortal Kombat, though they didn't really show the tournament aspect of things. It was more just the combat, right? Not the brutality of the combat. And Mortal Kombat 2 completely just fixed all of that. And it was just awesome. Again, Carl Urban just being the main character. And yes, I do get that people are saying it was the bait and switch, right? Because it's actually Katana's that's the main character. But honestly, I would say that in each of their respective worlds, they are the main character of their universes and their worlds. Johnny Cage being this washed up celebrity who used to be this great fighter that kind of let his potential dwindle away by replacing it with the fame and fortune that he wanted for being, by being in the film industry. And then you had Katana having her father be killed in the very beginning of the movie, only to have her have this deep-seated desire to one day overthrow Shao Kahn because he now took over their realm. I mean, both of them have their own respective stories that they have to go through and their own arcs that they have to go through. Even though Katana wasn't really an arc, it was more or less of her just for, she was never always the bad guy, right? She was never the daughter of Shao Kahn. She was the daughter of her father that Shao Kahn murdered, right? And she never let that go. Johnny Cage definitely had the arc of realizing his potential, and what he always was this great fighter, and just that Hollywood wasn't what it always, what it was cracked up to be. And, I think Carl Urban should have been Chris Redfield. Zach Krieger, instead of making this random shitty potential Resident Evil film, he should have followed the source material and gave us fans what we've been wanting, which is like a good Chris Redfield on screen. And I think that, honestly, Carl Urban would have been that would have been great to see Carl Urban as Resident Evil 5's. You want to do the DEI version? Let's make Resident Evil 5 a thing, put Zoe Saldana as Sheva, and then have Carl Urban as Chris Redfield. That would have been phenomenal. And then add the cherry on top, make Anthony Starr be Wesker. That would have been perfect, right? Oh my God, that would have fucking sold tickets like crazy. But no, instead we get this random dude running around random outskirts of Raccoon City, kind of like how the first Mortal Kombat was, of this Cole Young character that we don't care about, running around Mortal Kombat fighting people, in his little super suit. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 was phenomenal. Again, all the fight scenes were great. We've all grown up on action films and martial arts films, so it's wild that it took so long to get a solid Mortal Kombat movie. And I mean, honestly, I can't wait to see what Street Fighter is going to do now, because Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 2 did lift the bar a little bit. So Street Fighter is either not going to be able to clear it, or they're going to, level it out, or they're going to go above and beyond. So I mean, only time will tell. But yeah, I thought it was great. All the fights were great. Shao Kahn was just beautifully executed by Martin Ford. He looked phenomenal, looked so menacing. The only thing I would say, as always, is that I just didn't care for Jade. I didn't care for I forget her name, but I didn't care for the bald Jade. Jade was one of my favorite characters in the Mortal Kombat games, because I like using staffs. Any weapon, any character that has a staff, or if I can ever use a staff in fighting games or open world style games or stuff like that, even like Assassin's Creed, I always love using staffs because it's just so cool. That's why Donatello is my favorite Ninja Turtle, because of the staff. So seeing Jade in this, she's just not as sexy and as cool at all as she could be and as she was ever portrayed in the video games. Katana looked gorgeous, but Jade I just couldn't do it. But other than that, like I said, the film was phenomenal. It was awesome. I would definitely suggest to go watch it. I know it's kind of got it's definitely in competition with Devil Wears Prada 2 right now, and Michael Michael. I know for Mother's Day especially, most women are probably going to want to see the latter of, either of those two movies over Mortal Kombat. It's definitely more of a male audience-driven film, but still, I think you guys would all love it. The Baraka scenes were absolutely hilarious. Was not expecting it to get to be that funny and like heartwarming, honestly. Again, I gotta hand it to Karl Urban because he played a phenomenal Johnny Facken Cage. Just awesome. 10 out of 10. I'll even say 9 out of 10. I'll be modest. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely loved it, and I for sure foresee a third film coming out easily. I guess I do kind of wish Johnny Cage would have been a bit younger so he could have done his own stunts, because you could clearly see that it's like a stunt double in some parts, of course, but Karl Urban really knocked the performance out of the park, and congrats, bro. You did a fantastic job. But this has been Ghost in the Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out Mortal Kombat 2. It's definitely worth your time. Can't wait for Street Fighter. I'm honestly ready for Street Fighter now, so let's go!